the same view that Dr. Stahl has, we're going to see an air channel, then a straight line, which is the hinge, and then the actual flap itself, the portion that he'll be lifting. And she is 1/4 of the way done with the procedure now.
That's the whole thing right there. Just created the flap. That's all. That's so awesome.
Yeah. And see how it etched that cone? That was that horseshoe shape wasn't there before. That's the actual edge of the flap. It's just a piece of tape to give her something to kind of focus on, so she's not trying to look around at other things. It's going to put again, we can't see because he's looking underneath. He's putting the lid speculum in. Another numbing drop. Placing the cone.
So those are just single-use cones. Once you,
yes, absolutely.
Once it gets etched, it's
it's done.
Such a pretty iris.
Air channel, hinge, flap. And now we're halfway done with the procedure.
That's just so neat.
So now, taking that off of the left eye.
Can she feel that like pulling off of the eye, or is that numbing drop helping?
On it, on the eyelid. You can see her upper eyelid again. He's not looking through it yet.
Right.
That's a piece of Surgitape that he's putting on there just to help keep that lid open a little bit, so it makes it easier for him to attach that sterile drape that he's placing on. Now he's going to put a lid speculum in again. Make sure it's that she can't blink and that her eyes open wide enough.
Little bubbles.
Those bubbles are air bubbles from the
from the.
We're watching move them. See how they moved? So now he's actually cleaning the surface of her eye and making sure it's just a certain dampness. Making sure there's no matter, there's no lint, pollen, anything in there. Once he's satisfied with that, he's going to take this device and slide right into where that flap was created. That flap's only about 120 microns thick, so it is extremely thin. Separates it, folds it back, just retracts it back. As you can tell, it's very sticky. Now he's going to line her eye up. And it's purple, it's some faint purple flashes that we'll see that are creating that's the actual laser. It's hard to see. There it goes. Just it just kind of changes the pupil to a purple hue.
So with her surgery, is this actually correcting the lens, or does?
No, it's rounding out the cornea.
So it's rounding out the cornea.
The cornea is her cornea. I believe I'd have to look at her prescription here real quick.
Because she says she had astigmatism, so
that means that her eye is shaped more like a football or the back of a spoon. And you want it to be shaped like a basketball.
That's it?
Yep. One eye done.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so she had a little bit of astigmatism, but her eye was too steep. So we were flattening it, rounding it, and flattening it. He's smoothing out the edges, making sure they're tucked all back in there. That laser is actually able to create that flap, has a dovetail. So when the edges of it go in,
it fits right back together nicely.
You can't do that manually, but if you have a laser, then you can do that dovetail cut.
So what kind of things do we have to worry about that flap coming undone? Which we saw that it was really sticky. It was really hard to do.
Right, it's sticky. Yeah, it likes to stick together.
Right.
You know, you can have some small wrinkles in it, possibly. She could accidentally rub her eye. If that happens tomorrow and they look at it and they're like, I don't like the way it's sitting, they bring her back in, take that little device, wash underneath it again, and set it again. No big deal. It just sets her back a day vision-wise. But other than that, it's not a huge, oh my gosh, things are not going to turn out now. It's not that at all. That's why you need to keep that eye moist today, and I'll go over.
Keep it moist and don't rub.
No rubbing, blink, and keep it moist.
So as soon as that flap is cut, does that like ruin your vision? Because there's like those little bubbles in there.
Well, it does temporarily, but if we didn't lift it 3 days from now, you wouldn't be able to ever. No one would ever be able to tell that she had anything done.
Oh, really? Huh.
Not even not even one of us. I mean, not one of our surgeons. Because
look
it
at
just
it.
Reseal itself because it hasn't had that happen. Once that's happened, then you can a good surgeon can find it again.
But until that happens,
yeah, 3 days later, no one could tell anything had even ever occurred.